Welcome back, everybody, to another super special edition of Q-Tips. We are the Video Store Junkies, and we are back once again to bring you some amazing selections to watch during the week or weekend. So we're just going to get going like we usually do, and I'm going to kick it over to Zach.
Oh, hello, Renee.
Well, hello.
I just realized you never actually introduced yourself at the top of these.
This is the best part of hosting now, is that I never have to introduce myself.
I know. You're in full control. It's nice, isn't it? Cool.
Is.
Well, I've got something of a special recommendation to kick things off this week, because I'm actually doing something a little bit different this time. I am bringing you my first ever drunk recommendation. Now, that doesn't mean I'm drunk right now. I'm actually completely sober. However, this is a film that if you are of legal drinking age in your country, I suggest maybe imbibing some alcohol, or I don't know, other substances. I'm not going to make specific recommendations, but basically anything that doesn't put you in the necessarily right frame of mind to watch this film, because when I was watching it, I started drinking at the beginning, and the more I drank, the more entertaining the movie got, and I don't think it was because the movie was getting better as it went along. So, this movie has, by the way, a lot of talent behind it. Okay, you got, or I should say in front of it, because they're in, the actors. You got Academy Award winner Halle Berry. You got Academy Award winner Donald Sutherland. You got primetime Emmy Award winner Patrick Wilson. I'm just kidding. I love Patrick Wilson. But the name of the movie, if you haven't guessed already, you probably haven't, because this is a movie that totally came out and flopped and no one saw it. But the name of the movie is Moonfall, and it is from the director of such classic films as The Day After Tomorrow and Independence Day Resurgence. He also directed a couple good movies, like the original Independence Day and Stargate, but those days are far behind Roland Emmerich, and now he's still trying to make 90s disaster films in the year 2022. Let me explain to you, Renee, what this movie is about. The moon is falling.
Oh.
That's it. That's the whole plot. Well, to give you a little more context, the moon is falling towards Earth, so some astronauts have to stop it. Will they stop it in time, or will the world be destroyed by the moon? You'll have to watch the movie to find out. I'm not going to spoil anything. However, I did actually go and write down some of my favorite lines from this movie.
I'm so excited.
I just want to. I don't want to spoil anything, but I just want to read. I just want to read some choice lines.
I haven't watched this because I know how bad it is. But is there any variation on? Gosh, the moon looks big tonight.
There actually isn't. It's funny you should mention that. Let me read some of my lines here. Okay, here we go. These are actual lines from the Roland Emmerich film Moonfall. We scanned your consciousness. You're part of the moon now. I hope the moon holds together, at least for a little while anyway. They are prepared to use everything in their power to stop the moon. The moon must survive. Everything depends on it.
And
my personal favorite, oh shit, the moon is rising. Gravity's gonna go crazy. So yeah, this amazing film can be watched tonight on HBO Max. Again, I would suggest having a drink handy, again, if you are of legal drinking age. And I'm actually, stay tuned. At the end of the show here, I am going to give you a special mixed drink that you can enjoy with this movie. You guys, if you pay attention, Renee and Bill, if you pay attention to the Discord, I think I actually posted the recipe for this drink in the form of a picture maybe last week. But it was one of the many things I was drinking when I was watching this movie. So stay tuned for that. That's to keep people interested, so they stick around for the rest of the show. Speaking of things that are more entertaining, the more alcohol you consume, though, Bill, what's your first pick this week?
Well, I'll tell you. Although I guess the moon, that dialogue is so dire, because you realize, look, the moon's always been a part of the Earth and our lives, and it's fine. It's a fine moon. If anyone ever talks to you and the word moon comes up like 2 or 3 times in 5 minutes, you need to just walk away, because that's a crazy person. That dialogue just is so weird. They keep talking about the moon like it's, something we ever talk about.
The best part of this movie, though, Bill, is like you have a lot of really good actors, and I didn't even mention it, but you also have John Bradley, who I really like. If you don't recognize his name, he played Samuel in Game of Thrones.
Oh.
He's pretty fun in this movie, but like everyone else is delivering all of these lines with the most earnest delivery, like any Academy Award winner has ever delivered lines in their lives, and it makes them all the funnier.
Man. Oh, well. I have a theme this week. I don't usually do that. I just randomly pick stuff out of a hat. But the theme is movies directed by Shinya Tsukamoto that have the word Tetsuo in the title. So I know that's kind of niche, but okay. And the first
on the edge of my seat here.
Yeah. The first one is Tetsuo the Iron Man, 1989. You can find it on Shudder. And unlike Zach's pick, there is no amount of alcohol that is going to make this any easier. I would suggest watching this as straight as you can, because I don't want to take any responsibility for, like, God, if you dropped acid and watched this.
Oh, God.
Which I'm pretty sure is what the screenwriters did. Okay, this is a special thing here. It's cyberpunk, body horror, Japanese. Here's the thing about Japan. You gotta love Japan, because Japan lets us know about fetishes and things that we otherwise would not even know exist. And that they, being ahead of the curve, have an entire subculture. So I guess metal, and not heavy metal, just like metal stuff. Shoving metal under your skin and all is a... Yeah. So it's about a ordinary salaryman who one day discovers, as he's shaving, as I recall, little bits of metal sticking out of his skin. And then things get worse. And it's just he is becoming a cybernetic organism, I guess, although a lot of the metal just sort of sticks out of his skin and everything. But then he's also got, like, his private organs kind of turn into pneumatic drills, and it's getting worse and worse. This is really low budget, black and white, super stark contrast and everything. There was a period in Japan, it was like a punk rock thing with movies, where they were making a lot of these frenetic, cool editing, MTV type black and white cyberpunk stuff. And Shinya Tsukamoto, I'm probably mismangling his name, apologize. Brilliant, genius, has made a number of interesting films, and this is the one that kind of got it going. This is a movie, if you're into this sort of thing, get this movie and chop it into little pieces and use the pieces to make videos. Find some music by the Dickies or something and just throw in some Tetsuo the Iron Man. Gorgeous looking film. And it is on Shudder, 1989. And I throw this right back to the lovely Renee.
Well, thank you. So last week when I was watching The Tingler, it had autoplayed. Yes, it had autoplayed into another Vincent Price movie. And it caught my eye because when I was a kid, I loved watching Nick at Night. And on Nick at Night was Bewitched, and I loved Bewitched. And an actress in Bewitched was one Miss Agnes Moorehead. And this movie stars Vincent Price and Agnes Moorehead and a few other people, and it is called The Bat. So, yeah. But Agnes Moorehead is a writer. She's I think she's actually a mystery writer. And she goes out to the country and rents this house so that, she can work on her writing, as writers do. So, and Bill, you know this. You got to rent a house in the country for your writing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And it just so happens that there is something in this house that people want, and they're trying to get to it. And as is the bat. The bat is also trying to get to this. And, it is about basically everyone who is trying to find this treasure that is inside this house. And it is a good little whodunit. And I enjoyed it very much. And again, and it was actually a really good performance with Agnes Moorehead. And I believe it was Lenita Lane. I forget, forgive me. I forget who played her. I'll let you know in a few minutes who played her like buddy. She was like her housekeeper, but they were like together the whole time, and they played off of each other really well. It was pretty great. So anyhow, this movie is available on Prime, on Tubi, Paramount Plus, Hoopla, Epix, Canopy, Pluto, a whole lot of other places. And again, that is The Bat. And I will pass this on over to Zach.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you're going to pass this over to the Zach.
The Zach, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm going on. I'm going as for now on. So Renee, you know me pretty well. We go way back, so you probably know that there are two things in this world that I really care about, and that's gorgeous ladies and wrestling. And luckily, there's a show just for me.
Where this is going.
That is true. That is true.
Because coincidentally, someone tapped into my mind and made a show called The Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, or GLOW, as it's abbreviated. And that is the name of the show. It's GLOW. It's on Netflix. It's about a very, very independent group of women who are trying to put on a wrestling show, or they're a producer that is trying to get them together to put on a wrestling show. And let's just say it's not as glorious as the WWF shows that they are trying to basically kind of replicate or reproduce with an all-female cast. And speaking of cast, man, this show has a great one. You got Mark Maron as their like failed filmmaker, producer / director. You got Alison Brie and Betty Gilpin as the kind of two main stars. And then you got just a bunch. It's one of the shows that it's got a bunch of characters that are kind of like secondary and tertiary, but there's really not a bad performance amongst them. It's a really fun show. It's a comedy kind of drama, so it's got a lot of laughs, but it's got a lot of drama, a lot of dramatic performances in and out of the ring. So if you like gorgeous ladies like me, and Lord knows I do, or you love wrestling, give this one a try. Again, the name of the show is GLOW, and it is exclusively on Netflix. All 3 seasons. Of course, it's a fantastic show. So, and it's got a ton of fans. A ton of people loved it. So, of course, Netflix canceled it after 3 seasons. So you can binge the whole thing this weekend and then get mad because Netflix sucks. Speaking of,
you better not say things that also suck.
Never. Speaking of things that are, I don't know. I got nothing.
Nothing. Speaking of gorgeous ladies, here's Bill.
Yeah, that's where I was thinking of going, but no. I'll just pass it over to Bill.
Yeah, the actual Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, the character, the failed director is based on a real guy, Matt Cimber, who did a lot of trash, but he made one really interesting trash movie, The Witch Who Came from the Sea. Which is kind of interesting watching. He also did Butterfly with Pia Zadora, so
I did not realize that.
Yeah, he actually had some stuff.
No, hold on. Now so this is actually not an official recommendation, but that is on Aeroplayer, and I actually watched that a few months ago. I thought it was a kind of an interesting little art house horror film.
Which one? Witch Who Came from the Sea?
The Witch Who Came from the Sea. Yeah.
Yeah. He was also married to Jane Mansfield.
Oh.
I'm making none of this up.
Yeah, I did not actually, I'm still watching the show, so I have not gone back and, actually looked into the real story of it, so this is all very fascinating now.
Okay, continuing with my movies directed by Shinya Tsukamoto that have the word Tetsuo in it. 8 years after Tetsuo the Iron Man, he comes back with Tetsuo 2 Body Hammer. So he mulled on this for 8 years and decided to completely flip this on its lid. It's about a Japanese salaryman who slowly starts turning into a cybernetic organism as metal starts coming out of his body. It's the same damn movie. It's in color, so, which takes something away, but it's kind of cool color, and it's got a bit more of a plot because his son is kidnapped by a bunch of thugs, and this is driving him crazy, and his hand starts turning into guns, and eventually, he finds these cybernetic ninja types and they fuse together and he turns into a tank. So this movie is nuts. I mean, I thought the first one was crazy, but it was just random crazy. This is I'm taking you on a crazy journey. It didn't get quite the acclaim that the first one did. The first one put him on the map, and a lot of people saw this correctly as a bit of a retread, but I like it quite a bit. I don't know. I mean, I love the black and white of the first one, but then I'm always this way. I'll see like a movie, like Mario Bava did a movie in black and white, and he's like, oh, every movie should be like this. And then he does one in color, and you're like, oh, every movie should be like this. So I don't know. Sometimes it works. It's fun. It's a crazy movie. It takes the metal fetish machine stuff to the ultimate level, and it's so Japanese. You feel like they couldn't make it here. I mean, they could, but it wouldn't feel right. It just an interesting premise. Maybe it's got to come from a culture where that there's a value to conformity, and you also just so technologically advanced, and then the whole question of individualism and I mean, this is one of those movies. If you're stuck in school and you're taking a film class and they make you write essays, this is a good one because you can you can get whatever your little heart wants out of it. Anywhere you go. So, Tetsuo 2 Body Hammer. It is also on Shudder, and I throw this again to Renee.
Well, thanks. So, I watched this the previous movie with Miss Agnes Moorehead, and I thought to myself, man, I wonder if there's other horror movies that she's done. So I started looking around, and I found this odd-looking movie. I wasn't sure really what it was, but the box cover really stood out at me because it was quite bizarre. And I watched it, and the movie was not any less bizarre. This movie was it's just so strange, but goofy and odd. I can't really explain it other than to say the movie is called Dear Dead Delilah. And Agnes Moorehead plays Delilah, and she lives in this estate. And she is essentially much like the previous movie, but this time she has sent everyone out on a treasure hunt to find to find some money that their late father left in the estate or in the home, because essentially otherwise they were all going to get cut out of the will. So it is the story of all these folks going around trying to find this. It is another good little whodunit. And, oh my gosh, it's just so strange, but I really enjoyed it. And, again, it's called Dear Dead Delilah. And I will tell you, it is only, from what I could see, it is only available on YouTube. I believe there is one bad copy. So if you find a copy and it looks really bad, just look for the other one, because the other one is good.
Renee?
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt you, but...
no, that was it.
There was, in the 60s, this was actually kind of a genre. This is so unpleasant to say, but it was considered like a subgenre of horror thriller movies called hagsploitation, where they took... hagsploitation, where they took actresses who maybe had seen better days and were getting a little long in the tooth and everything, and put them in horror movies, because there's nothing scarier than, watching Bette Davis and Joan Crawford in their 60s growling at each other as they did in real life. And, and some great titles. Whoever slew Auntie Roo? What's the matter with Helen? Whatever happened to Alice? They ask a lot of questions in these movies. Just, yeah. Die, my darling. And, boy.
If there's a horror subgenre that I think is primed for a comeback, I think you just identified it, Bill.
Oh, well, as it turns out, so Tetsuo 2 Body Hammer came out in 1992. And that's, that was a while ago. I mean, many years have passed since then. So, 2009, let's go to the well one more time. Tetsuo The Bullet Man. Yep, he came out with another one. Stop me if you've heard this one before. A guy starts transforming into metal. But this time, there really is a lot of plot to this one. His son is killed in a car accident. He starts having visions of these experimentations that were done on him by his crazy father. It's part of the Tetsuo project. So basically, it takes the Tetsuo films and gives us the background. So it's kind of introducing some world building to this fairly limited thing that they'd had before. They were complex, but still kind of simple. It was basically just a guy turning into a machine. And this one... more of the same, but it kind of ties everything up in a nice bow and actually gives us a I don't know, happy ending is the right word, but kind of an optimistic ending. For this genre, extremely optimistic, and one that seems to show some hope for humanity because the others sure didn't. Good stuff. Good stuff. Worth watching. And all this guy's films is just very much, he's kind of a Japanese Cronenberg sort of thing. He found his niche, he stuck with it, and he's made a lot of very interesting things. So this one is not on Shudder, though. It's on AMC. American Movie Classics, yes. A Japanese cyberpunk 2009 movie. Just pretty much screams America, but... And there's my Tetsuo trilogy for the week.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Did Zach? Did you have another pick for us?
Well, I did not. I was gonna sing us out, but first I was gonna.
Go. Hey.
I was gonna give I'm gonna give the folks a mixed drink, and this is one that I invented myself. So I am actually going to officially name this the Moonfall.
Oh my god!
Not because it has any. I don't know. It doesn't have anything to do with moons, or like the liquor doesn't have anything to do with moons, but. I drank it for the first time when I was watching Moonfall, so it seems appropriate. All right. So here you go, folks. Write this down. Get a pen and paper, whatever. Get your, your phone out so you can take notes. Here's how you make the official drink of Roland Emmerich's Moonfall. You're going to start with Fireball whiskey. Oh, well, it kind of rhymes there, so I guess that's appropriate. So you get yourself some some Fireball whiskey, which if you have never had that, it's a basically like if you were when you were a kid, you had the fireballs that you kind of suck on the hard candy that was super spicy. It's basically that, but in whiskey form. So that's what that is. You're gonna get some Fireball whiskey. It's good stuff. Put some hair on your chest, but obviously you're gonna need a mixer for this. So the second and most important part of the Moonfall mixed drink is a nice cold can of flamin' hot Mountain Dew.
Oh, Jesus.
That's right.
Oh, God.
That's right. They made a flamin' hot Cheetos. It doesn't actually taste like Cheetos. It's just basically spicy Mountain Dew. And I actually had a case of flamin' hot Mountain Dew because for some reason it was $3 for a 12-pack at my local discount store. I can't fathom why. But yeah, so that's basically. I don't even know like what proportions you do these in. Basically, you just pour the Mountain Dew in a can, and then you add as much Fireball whiskey as you need to make it drinkable. And that's there you go. You have your Moonfall drink. So on that note, I'm going to sing us out. Moonfall, it's all about the moon, and one of my favorite songs is also about the moon. So I'm going to sing us out on one of my favorite rock classics of all time. Here we go. Breathe in the air. Don't be afraid to. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Get paid.
For the weekend of October 14th, Bill recommended Tetsuo, the Iron Man, available on Shudder, Aeroplayer, Canopy, and the Criterion Channel, and Tetsuo 2, Body Hammer, available on Shudder and the Aeroplayer, and Tetsuo Bullet Man, available on DirecTV, Plex, and AMC+. Zachary recommended Moonfall, available on HBO Max, and Glow, available on Netflix. I recommended The Bat, available on Prime Video, Tubi, Paramount Plus, Pluto, Hoopla, and Canopy, and Dear Dead Delilah, available on YouTube.
That's all I got.
Oh, wow. It's almost like Paul's still with us.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh,
Wait.
It's beautiful.
Now, just to clarify, if you leave this part in, Renee, Paul didn't die. He's just not here tonight. The way that Bill
Paul's
said that.
still with us.
He's still here.
I don't know. If he hears you singing, it might kill him.